Well, I have my guest today, Lucas Piccinin. He is the founding principal for NetConV. And what they've done is they created technology for grocery stores to help them manage and deal with all of those products that are on the shelf that are potentially and going to expire. So I'm super excited about this conversation. Also, NetConv is a sponsor of this podcast. And so super excited to have him on my show today. Also, if you're looking at this in a video format, um, stay tuned because at the end, we're actually going to be featuring a commercial that's done by NetConv. So super excited to have him on the show today. Let's get ready for Retail Leadership with Steve Worthy.
Welcome to Retail Leadership with Steve Worthy, where we go well beyond the corporate playbook to unpack major opportunities, hidden challenges, and critical issues that senior retail leaders face every day. So let's get started right now.
Well, I'm excited to have you today on the podcast. For those who don't know you, could you do me a favor and introduce yourself and your company?
Oh, nice, Steve. Thank you. Thank you for having me here, man. Yeah, sure. I'm Lucas. I'm the founder of NetConv, and it was founded in 2015. And basically, it's a software that provides transparency on expiration date in real time on e-commerce. Yeah, and that's what we've been doing for the last 10 years. And yeah, that's it.
Outstanding. So for those who are thinking about working with you, what's the problem that you specifically solve for the customers that are going to be working with you?
Yeah, we specifically solve the problem of transparency on expiration date on online operations, right? That's what we do. And after doing this, what we do, we use the expired products information on the algorithms to manage the stock, right?
Okay, excellent. And then how does your platform help identify, that expired product? And then what type of communication do you give to the stores that are going to be working with you to learn more about that expired product?
What we do, we just provide a full platform that integrates on the ERP of the supermarket. And we use the CRM of products to generate the replenishment list, and that is it. We just doesn't mess up with the systems that it's already in use by the supermarket. We just plug in the software that allows the supermarket to deal with the expiration dates on e-commerce and use for their own benefits. Yeah.
That's good. I think one of our earlier conversations, you talked about the two different types of retailers that you've identified, like those who are sort of ready to work with you or work online, and then those who are just a little bit skeptical. Could you talk a little bit about those two different types of retailers?
We know that talking with these retailers, these two kind of retailers, and the ones that think on the counter operations, and they see the e-commerce as an extension of the counter operations, right? So they use the same stock, and that's how they do, and that's how they think. So on this case, you would have a higher level of difficulty to talk to these retailers, right? Because there are two steps for getting this expiration date online, right? The first one is to use a dedicated stock only for the online operations, right? And why you do that? Because when you use the same stock for online and counter, you may see the expiration date online, but on counter, if you use the same stock, the customer may pick the product and put it inside the cart, right? So you don't have this kind of control on using on this way. You have to have this dedicated stock. So And after you have this dedicated stock, what we did, we just changed it, the load in the expiration date basis, right? So by doing this, you have the exact control about the products that are expiring. So, and then when you have this kind of data, you can use on the algorithms to manage your dark store. That's how it works. So perhaps if this kind of customers understand how it works, it get easier for them to get convinced, because another kind of customer are those that the new technologies, and they just come after you and they just keep making questions about the software, and we are very open, for these customers too. And sometimes they show as they have too many situations inside their company that they have to handle, but what we offer, it's a kind of solution that don't mess up with the systems that the retailers is already using, right? We just connect to the ERP of the, uh, as I told before, of the retailer, and by API, and use the CRM of products. And that is it. It's a fast move.
Yeah. No, I think that's ingenious because you guys take the guesswork out of, the implementation process, right? Because I want to ask you this question. What is one of the sort of most misunderstood aspects of managing that expiration process, right? Because I think, you're solving some solutions for them, but there's also some misunderstandings that a lot of retailers may have about that process.
Very good question. Thank you. Yeah, I'll give you an example. On counter, if you drop the price, even with the electronic label, you may have more than one expiration date on the shelf, and the customer may pick the longest one. You never know. But on e-commerce, you can duplicate the image, and you can offer with different expiration dates, different prices. So you actually can do the pricing of the freshness of the products, right? You can use this kind of information in your favor, right? So by using algorithms that reduce the price when products are getting closer to expire and announcing it, you can direct to specific customers that you may want, and it's a completely different capabilities. Yeah, that what happens.
What can stores do to help out the algorithm, right? Because the algorithm would only do so much, but the stores actually have to do something on their own to help out that process. What would one or two of those things be?
The store basically would use the same workforce, right? They just would work differently, right? With different tools. This kind of tools that we are offering here, it is made by three components, right? There are two apps. One for service that people use for receiving orders and making replenishment lists, and also to notify the operator to remove products, expired products from the stock. And this other app we use for hosting virtual stores, right? So the retailer may choose the marketplace that they want to be in. Also, if they want to be in Uber or Amazon, if this marketplace accept integration, we can do it. We can provide the expiration date inside the marketplaces too that the retailers want to be in, right? And basically, what they do on the app service is to scan the product that is generated on replenishment list, and if there is all the attributes of the products, including expiration date, it just captures for the app, right? And if it is not the attribute, you have to just to push manually, right? It's very interesting moment because they are changing the barcodes, right? They have this new generation of barcodes and it will bring this kind of attributes of expiration date. So it will be easier for retailers to scan it and have it. But if it doesn't have it, the software also accept the nowadays barcodes that are being used, but except that you have to push manually the expiration date. That what happens.
Um, nice, nice. So before we get into asking you about being a founder, you just recently came back from Nashville from a conference. Could you talk a little bit about that experience? You know, how did you find that experience at that conference and your ability to connect with different people at that conference?
Sure, man. That was amazing conference. That was my third time that I've been exposing in just GS1 US, and there was a lot of good connections, great connections. We got to talk to a lot of retailers in there and some specialists too, and also was FDA present and industries, and we talked to all of them, and they all like it. They all like it, and we think this environment, uh, and compared to others that I've been participating, it's a place where the facts and evidence are stronger than the politics and the influence. I think for happening on this way, things here moves faster than other places where the politics and influence are stronger. So I was very pleased to participate on this on this event. Yeah,
Uh,
that was
Excellent.
nice.
Excellent, excellent. So, I want to move into just like a leadership question for you. As a founder, what's one thing that you've learned about yourself that you didn't know before you became a founder?
I always had this desire of selling groceries online, so I never thought in founding a startup. I always thought in selling groceries, and then I when I had the chance for doing this, I just started doing it. But before I had the chance, I used to work in a lot of stuffs. I used to work in banks and a lot of different banks and companies. And when I started selling groceries online, I also didn't know about this expiration date on e-commerce. And I just figured that out by by selling. And when you were selling, only online, you get to know that when you get like frozen pizza, frozen hamburgers with 5 days, and yogurt with 7 days, you find very hard time uh, to know what price can you do on those products because they are so close, but you can sell. But if you drop too much, the customer may be angry. So I used to have this kind of problems. So I was like, geez, man, I don't know how these people do it. And I figured that just didn't do it because they don't know how to do it. Because if they knew it, they would do it. Because it's nightmare. If you don't sell yogurt today, tomorrow it had 1 day less, and then you never know. And then that's difficult, man. And the only way to sell groceries online is to inform the expiration date on the offering, you know. So when I figured that out, I was like, Jesus, man, this is important. Yeah, this is very important. And then I changed my life basically by this event because I gave ultra focus on solving this. And then I was like 3 years for stock counting and for the code guy so he could create the code for write the code for informing the expiration date. And after he done it, we didn't know yet what to do with that. And then we thought that we could drop the price when they are getting closer, and things was getting better and better, and then the software was awesome. And then we were like, we are ready for offering this for other people, and that's what we are doing now. And it's really nice. It's really nice. I think they'll like it.
Yeah, if you had one message that you wanted to give to the retailers in the United States, the grocers in the United States, what would that one message be?
I would tell them that the transparency on expiration date on e-commerce, it's something that should be faced. If not now, somewhere. And when earlier they adopted, the higher the edge they will get on the market. And we are very pleased to serve the supermarkets in the United States. And yeah, you just contacted me, man. It's we do it. Let's do it. Cool.
Exciting, exciting. Well, I'll make sure everybody's going to have all of your information where they can get in contact with you so that they can connect with you. So thanks so much, Lucas, for being here. And I'm excited for what you're doing.
Nice, man. Thank you very much, Steve, for all the help you are giving us. Thank you. Thank you.